Then 2 days later, they painted on the screen lies right over what he had written. And that's when the fighting started.
It's been 2 days.
Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Academy channel. I'm your detective host Igor, and today we're going to deep dive on Silo Season 2 Episode 3. And I have to be honest with you, this episode kinda made me feel like we're watching some kind of a psychological drama and not really a sci-fi show. I'm gonna explain everything to you. Who do I think really wrote this message of lies on the screen in Silo number 17, and many more interesting things that I think you may have missed. But before we begin, as usual, I want to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon and on YouTube here. Your donations is what make this channel possible. Now, let's dive in. So in case you're not familiar with my Silo videos, I'm not doing a recap here. I'm not gonna go through all of the events of the episodes. I'm just gonna talk about some points of interest that I think are very important in understanding this story. Now below you will find time codes with all of the topics that I'm gonna cover, so in case you find one of the topics are not that interesting, you can always skip ahead. And I would love to begin with the clarification of how many silos we actually have in this place. In all over the world there are 50 silos. Now this was kind of spoiled to me a couple of years ago when season 1 was just released, and some people that read the book didn't really, care about me not knowing the spoilers. They just wanted to share their amazing ability of reading, and they had to spoil this moment for me. But also, this is not that important. What's important is that yes, this is Silo number 17, just like we talked about in the previous videos. This is, close to 50, 16 and 18 are OG Silo where everything started. And here, as you remember, we talked about this moment in the previous videos. This is the Silo where Juliet left, and this is the new Silo where she is right now, and it looks like there's gonna be a tunnel between them. Now they talked about, the firefighters and their costume, and this is what they're gonna use in order to come back from Silo 17 to Silo 18, but I still believe a tunnel will be used for that, because once again I don't see any situation where even with the firefighter suit she will just come back to the silo, knock on the door, and people will be like, ah yeah, who's that? Oh, it's Juliet, come on, come in, we have tea right now. Probably not. So I still put my money on the tunnel, the one that George discovered in season 1. Usually when there's a Chekhov's gun on the wall, it's supposed to shoot at some point. So we're moving forward to the next topic, and we are getting familiar with the person who is hiding behind the door, and his name is Solo. Not Han Solo, just Solo. And he's actually saying that the reason he is calling himself like that is because he is there all by himself, which made me think that this is not a real name. Usually this is not a name that parents give to their child, like they're looking at the child like, oh my god, this one is gonna be alone all his life, let's call him Solo. It doesn't happen. Okay, this is not his real name, and at this moment I was still suspicious that maybe he is the Russell that we got to know in season 1 that was never on the screen, but everybody was talking about him, the equivalent of Bernard in Silo 17. But later, when he's talking about that Russell put him there and he was his shadow, it kind of make way more sense, because when Bernard is talking here to the Judge Meadows, he is saying that the silo has been dead for more than 25 years, and the actor who is playing Solo here, this is Steve Zahn, by the way, awesome actor, but he is 57. So if it was more than 25 years ago, he was supposed to be 30, the oldest he would possibly be is 32. And it's probably way less, and I cannot see someone that young to be the biggest leader of the whole silo, to be the head of the IT department. We've seen Bernard is obviously somewhere around 60, and probably most of the times the leaders of this place, like Judge Meadows, like the mayor before she was murdered, all of them are pretty much after their 50s, so I don't see this guy actually being Russell. I was wrong here, but he's probably his shadow, but he's still hiding something. He is definitely not Solo, this is not his real name, and why he's hiding his real name, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Now, we also know that he probably killed somebody here. Like when Juliet discovered a couple of bodies, she said that those bodies look way more recent than the rest of the bodies that she has seen outside in, you know, like when she was entering the silo. And we can see here somebody was trying to breach into this door, and here this spot, okay, maybe it's a stretch from my part, but maybe it's a blood stain. Okay, he was able to protect him somehow. He probably did something that made him, you know, even more traumatized than he is already right now. So this moment, like when Juliet is looking at the door and she's seen we will get in sooner or later, she understands that she will not gonna be able to convince him to go outside. This is not a person who you can talk to. Like, there were a lot of people that tried to get in. They had way more time than Juliet has, and they gave up or they just died. So, by the way, you know, like Rebecca Ferguson, she is the jewel of this TV show. She's absolutely amazing as an actress. Every time she's on screen, I'm just, you know, I'm enjoying every second. I'm watching a master of the craft, and it's a treat. It's a treat for everybody who appreciates good acting. The way she, you know, expresses her emotions, everything that happens here, we can see here on her face, but it's also very subtle. It's not a parody movie, so hats off, absolutely amazing actress. Now we move into the next topic, and we actually discover that there was some guy named Ron, and his name was actually Ron Tucker, and his fate is very, very similar to Juliet's fate. He also went to clean because he knew, he believed that nothing is gonna happen to him, he's gonna stay alive. But when he like got up and left this place, instead of just dropping the cleaning patch, whatever, like Juliet was holding, he actually wrote in the dust lies. And this is what started the rebellion here. Just 2 days after he left and declined to clean, people started to write lies on the screen in the main, you know, cafeteria area, and this is what began the whole uprising and everything we have seen in episode 1 this season. So you remember this screen with the lies. Now I'm pretty sure I would even put some money on it that it was not the rebellion who actually wrote lies on the screen, but somebody else. Anyway, we're moving forward. I want to talk about the poison. Did we actually get some information about what actually is dangerous and is killing people outside? He's talking about like the dust started to blow again, like those people were able to live and survive way longer than just 3 minutes because there was no wind, there was no dust, and the poison kind of went away for a bit and then it came back. So it's probably some kind of a particles in the air. Maybe when there is no wind, they're just laying on the ground and it takes way more time for them to affect the people, and when there is wind, they're actually, you know, like in the air and people are dying way faster. Maybe, I don't know. But since this guy was a shadow for, you know, like the Russell, the Bernard guy of this place, he probably knows what most people don't, and this is the reason why people can't get outside. Now at this moment I think it's good to come back to silo number 18, and we can see that Bernard and Judge Meadows are actually working on a plan how to deal with the whole consequences of Juliet not cleaning, and they are working the plan of divide and conquer. The order, the book that Bernard was reading in the previous episode, gave them a plan. You have to blame the mechanical and unite the rest of the silo against them. Now this is as old as human history, divide and conquer. But the only thing I cannot understand here is why mechanical. They seem very crucial and very important for the survival of this silo. If mechanical is destroyed, there's not gonna be any energy for this place and the silo will die. Something that we have seen once again in episode 1 this season. But you know, like the founders, they're so smart and they know exactly whatever is gonna happen, so maybe there is something that we don't know. Maybe the mechanical role in you know, like preserving of this place is way more exaggerated than it actually is, and the energy is coming from a different source, not from the generator. Once again, it sounds like a stretch to me, but I don't know why you would want to unite everyone against the mechanical. Once again, it's very, very risky. Okay, anyway, moving forward, we can see, you know, Bernard's plan, or can I say maybe Order's plan. They are using one of the old raiders who knows how to shoot, and even Sims is telling him like, you're gonna go to the mechanical level, but it's not gonna be for long. This is basically implies that even though Bernard promised to Judge Meadows he's not gonna follow the order's plan in how to deal with, Juliet not cleaning, we still can see that this is exactly what he's doing. So here, this moment, I just want to mention it because once again, in episode 2, it kind of was suspicious to me, Bernard's feelings toward Judge Meadows. Here in this moment when he was measuring her, once again, it felt like, one of those moments, and he felt like a little bit shy, like he kind of wants to do it, but, he's not sure in himself, whatever. I don't know what is going on here, but I'm pretty confident that he has feelings towards her. She doesn't. So, whatever this is, probably something that Judge Meadows will be able to use in order, to overthrow Bernard later. Anyway, she also has some kind of a recording device. There is a record button, there is stop, and there is play. Not something that we have right now. Once again, it's something from the way modern area than what we have right now in 2024. It looks like just a projector, nothing more than that, but it kind of uses this weird artifact that she has in the middle of her house, and she's watching some videos of what I can assume maybe there's like some kind of a black family and there's a white family. So like my first thought here is just, some kind of a recording. Judge Meadows, she was able to find some relic, and she found there some videos of a family way before the whole cataclysmic event, the whole apocalyptic event, and she just watches and she like lingers and she wants to feel something similar. She wants to know this life outside. But then we see her black child, celebrating her 1-year birthday, and right now I'm gonna need you to put your tinfoil hats because we're going to completely Twilight Zone. So maybe this is her? I know there's like 99.99% chance I'm completely wrong here, but still bear with me. Like in this moment when Sims is talking to Patrick Kennedy, he's talking to him about some drug that will help him to forget everything. He will be in his mind a person that was there like 20 years ago before he even got to know his wife. Now, if this is just a different drug, like nothing else, not the one we have seen in season 1 when Gloria Hildebrand was actually hallucinated her being with her husband and a child on a beach next to the ocean, then no questions asked. But if this is the same drug, can it mean also that Hildebrand was not really hallucinating but more of a remembering something? Because as far as we can see already, this whole plot of whatever somebody fails to clean, you need to restart the history, okay, which means there's gonna be a rebellion, you're gonna crush it, and then you start over. And everything that happened before that, it's just history that is mostly not allowed to remember. In some sort of exclusions, like some relics are allowed. But maybe even in this silo, in silo number 18, there were already many rebellions. And it's not like a 2374, it's more of a 4574. I don't know, as I told you, tinfoil hat, Twilight Zone, but thank you for bearing with me here. Now let's talk already about the rebellion. As I told you in the previous episode, Juliet's father already have some spark of it inside of him, and we can see that this starts to bloom. He is removing, the birth control chip when he was told not to do it, but he actually got in touch with this person, with this Phoebe Wells, and he's actually giving her a chance to become pregnant. So he was already not following orders, and we know that this guy was always following orders. So him, whatever is gonna happen with him, but he's obviously gonna be important for the rebellion. I don't believe this is just because this is a kind of famous actor and they just giving him lines just to be there. He has to have some kind of a role. This one, she was pissing me off completely, entirely this episode. Maybe I'm completely alone here, maybe everybody likes her and thinks she's like likable, she's brave and so on. I mean, bravery is awesome, guts is great, but you gotta have some brain, and you gotta be able to see some irony, like when she's talking to Knox and the deputy there, she's where did you get the goons? Dude, have you seen who's standing next to you? Like, look at those guys. If those guys are not goons, who are goons actually, And she is actually losing Coop, and Coop is like, it's okay, no it's not, bro. So then when they have the conversation here with Knox, She's also giving me some flashbacks from season 3, episode 5, you know, the diner conversation with amazing questions like, why haven't you talked to the police about monsters and magical places? They would definitely believe you about this. Here she's saying like, we would just forcefully take a prisoner from the hands of the sheriff and his deputies, and everything would be just amazing, just completely dandy. You know, like Disney fairy tale, everybody would be happily ever after. I mean, Nox here having a patience of a saint, and then getting kicked, punched, in the gut, when she was like the one who needs to be punched in this situation, because her actions actually led to Coop being killed. I mean, there is obviously Bernard plan there. Okay, I'm not blaming the victim only here, okay? This is like not one of those cases. But what am I just saying is that if you are angry and if you want to start something and if you're leading people behind you, you have to take fucking responsibility for those actions. Because right now those people are following you, okay? And whatever happens with them, already your responsibility. You have to protect them if you are the leader of the rebellion. And if you are taking those men that look like they're about to throw some down, and you taking them to the sheriff's station and you tell them like you have to release the prisoner, you are preparing for something, and you weren't prepared here. So to summarize, obviously the guy who shot Coop is the one responsible. Obviously Bernard and Sims, the one who started the plan, are the one who is guilty. But saying that she is completely not like responsible for Coop being killed here is also would be a lie. She should take some responsibility instead of leashing out on Nox or just yelling and being completely stupid. She is not capable in leading the rebellion. She's not capable in anything but screaming and, you know, like, yeah, being angry. And like the graffiti here is saying exactly what I was thinking in this moment. Like, why are you here? For fuck's sakes, can you ask yourself a question? What do you want to achieve? It's not enough just to be angry. So yeah, it's been 2 days. Now this is an important detail. Like when they're talking about Juliet, if she's alive or if she's dead, they're talking about just 2 days. So it's been 2 days since Juliet left the silo. What does it remind me? Oh, it reminds me the story of whatever his name, Ron Swanson guy. He was also just after 2 days after he left, the first words, the first graffitis of lies were written in the cafeteria level. So since there is the same order in every silo, there are the same managements like Bernard, like Russell, it means that after 2 days you have to start a provocation. You have to start some shit. Sorry for, you know, my language. Today I'm a little bit, you know, this one made me angry. So it means that probably the lies that were written there, they were written actually by, you know, like the raiders or somebody from IT, you know, somebody who was just paid or ordered to do so in order to start the rebellion, in order to spark it. And as we have seen in episode 1, it also was started in the mechanical level. So this is what I was talking about in the beginning of this video when I said, what is this, some kind of a psychological drama? Because we're actually seeing here sort of an experiment on people's psyche. You can do the same exact scenario of a revolution in different silos with different people, but most of the times just the outcome is different, but it starts completely the same. Somebody fails to clean, then you, like the management, has to give more reasons for violence to break out in order to unite the silo against one common enemy, divide and conquer, and then like the rebellion either succeeds and then everybody dies and then the silo kind of cleans itself, or the rebellion is crushed and you start the history from over again, from the beginning. So this is just interesting. And I just, you know, like kept for the end some small Easter eggs that just want to go through them. We have the nice board. This is probably, you know, from the scavengers, like we have seen Juliet doing. They're like marking the items that they're receiving. They are writing tag numbers on them. We have seen toaster, we have seen computer, we've seen once again another toaster, sewing machine. I just love those small tiny details. Now this moment when Bernard was opening the server room, he put the code 23. I have no idea if it's gonna be important, but I just noticed something, and when I notice, I share. And this moment also, we have the weird eye key, like all over again. We have the eye here, like look at this here. It looks like an eye combined with a key or something. We have the eye here when they were carrying this guy, or it looks at least like some kind of a weird eye. Here we have also like the spiral repeating itself. We have seen this in the previous episode. We have spiral here, we have eye here, we have another eye here in this moment, and another eye here, and also like the first episode with the flashback. This is exactly the place where Knox is taking Shirley. In the next episode, probably, he said to her that he finally knows what those names mean. And I don't know about you, but I really want to know what they mean. And also, I hope we're gonna get some explanation about the eye, why we are seeing eye absolutely everywhere. And just once again, a couple of graffitis, the weird kind of like tongue with a scary mouth here, and like if you've whatever, and once again, the same eye in the shape of the key. So, whatever this means, I hope we will get some answers soon. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support this channel, you can do it in any way that it's convenient to you. If you don't want to support it, if like even hitting the like button feels like unnecessary too much right now, I completely understand. I just appreciate that you have watched this video until this moment, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for it, because I make those videos for you to watch them. Everything else is just a bonus. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye!